I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude. I don't.
This nigga.
And then you're just like, yep, I'm gonna bust a foul.
Juicy, man.
Oh my god! It's like, oh my god! Like, this is. It's like I want my artwork to to have a piece of my DNA. Like it was just so profound to me, and it's like, I'm like, so what are you gonna nut on it? I'm sorry, dude. That's actually funny. My bad, man. I don't mean to. Oh, dude, that's just funny to me. No, but I hear you though, man. Yeah, or having a piece of your DNA and stuff like that.
Well, what I mean is even it should transcend like not just well, technically what we're doing now is a form of art, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was saying, like anything that makes you you, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately you do have to exaggerate it a little.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be because you still gotta entertain people, it's supposed to be you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. It's supposed to be you and this bitch. Um
You and the beast right here.
That's fine. You know, it is what it is, you know. So when we start doing this shit from now on, man, like that little interaction we just did, I mean, because that is a part of you. It is stuff that you do. You are like that. I still think that you should take a harder stance on stuff, on the culture, you know?
Oh my god, you make me sound like a slut.
See that. Ha! Get I like wanted it, but I didn't want it. But I knew I didn't need it. But oh god. Yeah, you know what? We can get down to the get down. You know what I mean? I kind of figured today was going to be a slow day,
Yeah,
and
we can.
make sure you leave it. I have to tell you probably, but your ass be forgetting, or just a lazy bitch. One of the two. You can you can leave a time set now because we're about to get started. I said you wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something. You wanna be starting something. You got to be starting something. I too hard to get over. Yeah, I too hard to get over. You're stuck in the middle.
I just tweeted out again.
I just
So
I would tweet it, but you know, every time I fucking unlock my screen, I can hear like my microphone is coming through. It's working, but it's not playing within it's in the spaces. I don't
every
fucking
time,
know.
every time you type on your phone, all you hear is.
That shit that shit getting stomped.
And then sometimes you're like, you do it faster. So it's yeah, sometimes it has a rhythm to it.
We're not strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Sorry,
Oh, that's what I was looking for.
ha!
Ta-da. Let me open my thingamajigger here.
People want to steal shit. Like, you're really gay.
The what?
People go listen to this shit, like, you're really gay.
Oh my god, you're gay. Where was that from again? You're so gay. It was something like that. I can't remember where it was from.
What are you typing? That's like for the whole time. You know, I'll be hearing you typing shit.
Oh man, I got important shit to do, bro.
Well, can't multitask some shit like this, man.
No. I was putting down the timestamps. I was just typing it out on my computer.
Okay. All right.
If you really want to know. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
did actually. That one I definitely needed to know. Who we got in there? Nobody?
Not a damn soul.
It's gonna be a short one today.
It might be. But yeah, we could start the conversation though.
Yeah.
Let's start
So I guess
let's start the conversation, man. I mean, shit, we could even just pretend like we're not even doing the spaces, man. Just have a conversation. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was intending on doing. It should always default to that.
yeah. But I
Default to
mean,
that, right?
we can do an official intro though.
But do we need to?
Do we really
Maybe.
have to though?
Yeah.
I would, just for the YouTube's peoples out there.
Welcome to the PlayStation Master Race. No, what was it? Pegasus Master Race or some shit? What do you want to call it?
What was it? The Pegasus Master? It was something like
It was PS Master Race. That's what I wanted to call it. I'll do that. The PS Master Race. Nigga, that's what we're doing. We got Canada's Honorable, and of course, because I'm such a colorful character, you know me as Josh. That's just all. I tried doing all sorts of things. I was known as Omega one time. I ain't gonna call myself no damn game cash or music. La 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 la
that
la.
BBC,
BBC, yo, that's my new nickname. Because people be like, pause.
that baby black
Okay.
cop.
Shut your ass up. That's harassment, and I can't say the words because it's gonna go on YouTube.
It's
Maybe
harassment of sensual nature.
So yeah, welcome to the PS Master Race. And what we do here is we actually we talk about just the culture of the PlayStation and it's all its triteness. So not just positivity, but just the whole culture of PlayStation. And there's some negative shit in here, which we'll get into. But we have two topics to talk about. I'm surprised you don't hear what's going on in the background. You say you don't hear anything, right?
I can't hear anything at all, man.
Excellent. I'm just butt ass naked, cleaning my bathroom because there's bleach every fucking where, and I don't want to fuck up my clothes and carpet. Got multitasking this bitch.
It's funny that you mention it.
What?
Because I'm butt ass naked.
Shut your hey, yo!
Oh man,
I have to do this shit because it's fucking bleach everywhere.
Can you see the tweet in the spaces on your end?
I saw the tweet when I unlocked my phone. I saw it.
Because I don't see it on my end, which is weird.
No, thank Twitter because Twitter is shit.
But you can see it right now.
Oh yes, I can't see it right now because I'm fucking cleaning the bathroom. Shit.
Damn it.
And I don't want to check it either because if I check it, it's going to fuck up the Bluetooth.
That's all right, man. I'll check and see if I can get it on here on this end. But
all right, so we got the two topics. We got the two topics to talk about here. Without further ado, the first topic is you want to introduce that topic since it's yours.
Yeah, sure. So the first topic is what me and Josh decided to come up with: petty gamer takes. And oh man,
I hope you can stretch this shit out, man.
You said no need to.
Because I hope you can stretch this shit out.
Yeah, why not, man? There we
I'm
go.
saying I hope you have the capacity.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So this is the the origin of the topic, man. So I'm trying to get this tweet in here so we can see it on the culture. There we go. Hopefully you can see it now.
You got it working?
I'm trying to do it from the actual culture. But yeah, anyway, this guy, man, he app, which I know you guys have seen this guy before, man. I know you've seen him before too, Josh. This freaking dude, man. He's always on Twitter, man. Just sort of, I don't know, breaking down stuff and putting out tweets and doing like like hitting walls and stuff like that in the game, and I don't know, man. It doesn't really bother me, you know what I'm saying, that you kind of mess around with the physics and test the game out and stuff like that. But you know, there is a line, man. I think, you know what I'm saying.
Why? Because it encroaches on your fanboyism.
It does. It makes my fanboyism show like hardcore, man. I mean, PlayStation is just perfect, man. I just, you know what I'm saying, and I want everybody to know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to spread the gospel of the perfection of PlayStation. The Pegasus Nation. Woo!
I hate that shit. I can't stand it. I can't stand fucking Pegasus, yo. That shit is a meme in itself. But we are a master race, though. That masturbates.
The master race that masturbates.
I dare you to act like you don't do it. Yeah, second shit. Yeah, so it's petty takes. That's the first thing that we want to talk about is like people that just will do anything for just a W in an argument. That's super fucking annoying, honestly. It really is. It's like, and first of all, that tweet, he didn't even have all this shit together. You know what I'm saying? And it's a fucking hack and slash game. Or I guess now it's a Souls game. You really want to take, if you really want to, really want to get into it.
I love how Souls is literally a genre now. I mean, who else could, but besides From Software, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so,
you act like you were there when it happened. Weren't you like 2?
I mean,
like, weren't you 2?
Weren't you like 90? I mean, yeah, like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you could even remember. I mean, you remember back, when Demon Souls came out?
No, what was that game? It was called something Kingdom. I forgot.
Yeah, the old one. Nah, that was before my time, bro. That shit is old.
It had all the inner workings.
Yeah, I heard, man. I never went back to play it though. I mean, I'm good. I mean, I really like From Software's games, but to be honest with you, bro, I'm not gonna go back and play that shit. I'm just not gonna do it.
You're willing to go back and fucking play what? Fucking Legends of Dragoon? For real?
Yeah, but that game is actually good though. You know what I'm saying? And I played it when I was a kid, so it's just, hey, what can I say, man? That nostalgia, bro. Nintendo runs off of it, man. It'd be powerful. You know what I'm saying?
What a fucking pile of sticks. That's what you are.
You're a pile of dust, you old ass boomer.
You shouldn't even. You could tell, man. You didn't even know where I was going with that shit. Terrible. I'm trying to censor my words. I can't say what I want to say. It's a 3-letter fucking word, nigga.
No, but I mean, I don't know. No, I mean, just because you were mentioning that God of War is kind of like a Souls game. I just thought it was interesting that now people are sort of considering the Souls like a genre. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty cool. I mean, it's not easy to kind of do things like that. You know what I'm saying? Come up with your own genre.
Because Kojima thought he could do it. What do you call it? A Strand game? I was like, shut your ass up.
He was supposed to with Death Stranding. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
you thought he was killing it. That's what you thought.
I mean, I know, right? I mean, he tried. It's like that Bart, the Bart GIF. At least he tried. Nah, but I mean, it's in its early stages. I don't know. We'll see what he can do with it though. But
he needed that. He needed to stop being so fucking artsy and like make an actual game. Like he had the walking and mechanics, and he needed to have like a fun combat system. And he just was like, "Let me make this shit so convoluted that it just focuses on the walking. It's so genius." Nigga, shut your ass up.
I'm not gonna lie though, there was something about that game that was entertaining though, and I loved it. I can't. It's hard to say what it was, man. Maybe it was just the fact that you were like the challenge for the game was actually trying to overcome the terrain and all of the different ways. It was just different. I don't know. It was.
I
Different.
used
It
to
was
have I used to have the best like fucking analogy for that fucking game, man. I really did. I was like, yo, listen, that game is like the Gran Turismo of like walking simulators.
the Gran Turismo of walking
I
simulators.
was like, no, because it tracked everything. It tracked how fast you was going downhill. Certain terrain would cause you to walk a certain way. I mean, he had his heart was in the right place. It was in the right place, and I commend him for doing such a brave thing. Come out of the
Um,
trance.
I know.
That game is a trans of fucking. Stop.
Yeah, shut up.
Click that. Click that shit.
Nah, but
Our
I'm
market.
nah, but I mean, if you look at the footage, man, the God of War footage, dude, it's like I don't know, man. Like I said, man, I think
Those trees can. Okay, so before we even get into that, because I want to get to also my topic as well, which that's your topic, and then my topic was, subscriptions.
surfaces the way.
You know what I'm saying? So, is that the way? Yeah, the way. Is that the way of the future? You may want to also do this too. I think you want to probably change because I feel like people don't understand what that title means for the spaces. So maybe you can swap out the spaces or find a better name. I feel like there should have been somebody in here.
Like what?
I said you can maybe switch out the titles. Probably put mine first because it's more stand outish, or you could change the name of your title for the spaces.
Oh, well, me being malignant, I see. Okay.
Shut up.
All right, go ahead. You were saying that the
But
trees are destructible.
those trees are actually destructible. It's like, but and I think I was telling you about this earlier. I was like, yeah, like the trees are. Well, you said it too. I mentioned it when you were fighting the stranger, aka Balder.
Baldur.
He was fucking up them trees. You're slow and old. You should have never left me. I don't know why that stuck out to me.
And oh, yeah, I don't know why.
Maybe because I'm getting older, that shit was personal for me. It's like, hey, bitch!
that hit my soul.
Shit hit me hard, yo.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, man, I kind of like you, just like you said, like the trees are already destructible in the game. You know what I mean? So
They used to say this about Horizon Zero Dawn. We're going to get into all these stupid takes. All of these fucking takes are retarded. All of them. Every single one of them.
just talk about it, bro.
So there's that take about God of War. You can't destroy the fucking environments, even though it's a fucking hack and slash, the fucking action game. They ain't thinking about them fucking trees, and even then, you could destroy the fucking trees. That's one thing. The second thing is, I remember one of the petty ass takes because Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, she couldn't climb. Everyone said that game was fucking boring. Everyone still undermines Gorilla. Gorilla is the nigga of a fucking PlayStation culture. Not PlayStation culture. PlayStation Studios, excuse me. I'm the nigga of PlayStation culture. But but
What does that make me?
I don't know, you're the prince.
Hey,
what? Oh.
You act like you're not light skinned too, man. Shut up.
All right. 1 month out of the year. At the tippy top of fucking winter. That's the lightest I fucking get. I keep jumping in the fucking sunlight and roasting my fucking skin every time, yo.
No, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, they try to say that fucking Aloy was the game was boring because you couldn't climb any fucking environment that you wanted to, and you could do that in Breath of the Wild and shit like that.
and the story was fucking mediocre and shit like that because the story wasn't in your fucking face. Like they just so many stupid takes that adds nothing to like the conversation of gaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you quantify that as being like something that you can learn from? You know what I'm saying? You can't learn from that shit.
Yeah.
What do you want to learn from that as a developer? That is boring. You
You
know,
can't hold
because
the
you
door.
can't.
You can't climb.
Although they did make the bitch climb shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was such a stupid thing to kind of complain about because they really said that Guerrilla Games is so low tier. All they are about is graphics. I was like, bitch, ain't no way that shit's low tier. And I got like 2,000 hours in that bitch. Although, albeit
I don't know,
graphics
man.
are.
I feel like they've kind of proven themselves at this point, man. You know what I'm saying?
They really low key, they proved themselves with Killzone 2. And then people wanted that game to be Uncharted. It's like they saw what Naughty Dog did with that, and they made it into a a fucking a trope of some sort. You know what I mean? They were like, well, I kind of wish that all the things were funny and shit like that. So if you noticed in Killzone 3 had jokes in it.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lighter tone. They said they wanted to make a lighter tone. It was all because of that kind of stupid ass criticism, the fucking stupid petty takes. Because it was, I don't know why people kind of coagulate to one development studio when it comes to Sony. They kind of get stuck and be like, they don't look at Sony as a whole. They kind of like use like a poster child and they run with it. Oh, Naughty Dog! Like I just saw like something.
Yeah.
I saw something um on Twitter where it was like basically the only good studios. This really burns me up. It really does. The only good studios was Insomniac and Naughty Dog, and they had like the two black
Yeah.
dudes like they had the two black dudes singing like trying to outdo themselves. And I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, if you don't know, and I was talking to Magnificent Black. Shout out to Magnificent Black. If you don't know how I function by now, I'm going to tell you. I am the face, the black face, that will say shit that everyone's afraid to fucking say.
The black.
That that's who I am. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but the output of Naughty Dog has been lackluster, and they fumbled the ball many times. Not even with just The Last of Us. They fumbled the ball with Uncharted 3 and its multiplayer made up for it tenfold with The Last of Us and its multiplayer. And then they started to incorporate microtransactions and fucked it up again. And then they made Uncharted 4 and they fumbled that fucking ball by firing a fucking woman to make the studio more inclusive for women.
Wait, are you talking? Wait, who are you talking about? That they
Amy
fired?
Hennig.
Oh, Amy Hennig. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I was reading some because I believe she came out with like later on after the whole project was done, her concept for the story. And I mean, I know that you have to kind of see it in action, but I was like, I don't know, man. It was a little,
I remember
it was a
I
little,
remember seeing
it was a little
some things.
sus, man.
What did she do again? What was it again?
It was something about like Sam was like he came back after 15 years for revenge or some shit like that, and it was a whole different like storyline that she kind of had written out for the Uncharted 4.
You're going to have to
Uh,
do better than that. I need more information.
I can't remember all the details, man. I have to go back and look at it,
I
but
remember they had like a dance sequence that was supposed to be there or something like that. I feel like that would have been so fucking lit. Like it was like a QTE and you had to dance through that the ballroom or whatever the fucking shit is. I remember it's vaguely something like that. That shit would have been so lit. But
wait,
they
wait,
was
wait.
like,
Are you talking about The Last of Us or Uncharted?
no, Uncharted.
Oh, okay. Go
Yeah, it
ahead.
was like a ball. It was like a ball scene where you were dancing. I guess you were dancing with Nadine or some shit like that. And even if her brother came or his brother came back years later to try to get revenge, you know, what's wrong with that?
I mean, I don't think it's a bad story. I don't think it would have been a bad storyline. I can't remember all the details though, but I mean, when I read it, I was like, but maybe that was just my bias, you know what I mean? Because the story had already been written for the fourth game.
Possibly. Do
Yeah,
you hear anything in the background, by the way?
it just sounds like you're doing something, but no, I don't hear any like crazy noises in the background.
What about now?
Sounds like water or something.
Okay. All right. I'll chill from that.
Yeah,
Um.
but
But
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it was probably just a bias though, you know what I mean? Because I think at the point I had already finished the game. And you know, I already knew the story for Uncharted 4 or whatever, right? And I don't know, me personally, man, I love the game. You already know. I mean, you know, you already have your issues with the game, but I personally loved it. I felt like they kind of went back and they had the identity of the characters and stuff like that. Although the story was a lot more
Did
mature.
you go
But
back and look at the Elena Fisher fucking crying?
no, I did. But I know what you're talking about, though, man. I've seen the scene a few times.
It fucking happened. You were like, it never happened that way. It fucking did. It did happen that way.
I don't know, man. But you made it
Yes, it
sound like
did. No,
you
I
made it
didn't make
sound
it
like
sound like anything. I made it
bro.
sound like what it is.
You were like, oh my gosh, she was crying like,
She was
and I'm
fucking
like,
crying. Her eyes were red. She was like, Drake.
oh my god.
Oh God. Oh no.
I'm like
She was.
crying.
Yeah, she was crying. She was like, "This is what you do on your day on your day off. You could have died, and I wouldn't have known."
I don't know if I would classify that as crying, but you know.
It was crying. She fucking cried. She was like, "Wake me up when you're done with that fucking whore prostitute bitch." And she walked out the door. I was like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I never-
Yeah.
but
Nah,
yeah,
I mean, it was off topic anyway, but you know, it was just, yeah, just the story was, I don't know. I just remember thinking when I read her adaptation of the story, I was just like, I don't know. But then again, like I said, it's really more about the execution, you know, because like when
I
you,
mean, do you trust her? I mean, because she made like baller ass games.
I do for the most part, but she did write Uncharted 3, so
No, it was cold written.
yeah, I don't know, bro.
It was co-written, and guess who was the star of the show? Who was the other half of the story? I'm sure you don't want to say it. It was your soy boy.
No, Cuckman. My boy Cuckman.
He was like, you know what would be a really
Dr.
good idea?
Huckman.
He was like, you know what would be a really good idea? Is I'm so tired of sexualizing women. Just make the ugliest bitch you can find. Make it look like our pussy stink.
Wait, who was that supposed to be?
All the cast from fucking The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah,
Everybody looked like they smelled bad.
everybody probably did smell bad.
Yeah, smoke. I don't know. Like that's how you know that game was sexy. It just looked like it looked like when I played the game, just everything smelled like sour coochie. Like only everything was just coochie.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like to me.
yeah, I know, right? But I don't know. That was pretty much all I can't even remember. What was it that you were saying anyway before we went off on that tangent? Because you were talking about Horizon a little bit.
Well, this corny ass. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just checked the thing. The thing about Horizon, they said that the game was boring. They said it was a snooze fest. They said the story wasn't that great. It was mediocre. They said that Aloy didn't have a personality at all. Which I know
Oh, I
that
remember what
you
you were
know,
saying now.
yeah, it was just the stupid takes that people have.
No,
They
I remember
said,
what you were saying. You were saying that the people don't focus on like they focus on one thing. You know what I'm saying? Either like on the like the ugly duckling of the group, or like the poster child. And you said that a lot of people stick to Insomniac and Naughty Dog.
yeah, they made that take for nothing though. That still is kind of curious to me. Like it literally. Like, why are you hating on an internal studio that's under? Like, I don't understand that. And then on top of it, to be honest with you, I'm gonna have my own little petty take, as if I didn't have enough already. and right now, my petty take is Insomniac more than proved themselves to be, to me, a better studio than Naughty Dog right now. Ooh, burn.
Ooh, burn.
So why do I say that? Because people and companies anything really could fall from grace just as quickly as they meteorically rise. They could fucking fall, just like when Sony made the PS2 and then they made the PS3, and that was a disaster. Entire crops were lost of diodes.
I know, right?
So, huh?
No, I said I know, right?
So there was that. But Insomniac seems to know how to straddle the lines between like making something. I mean, yeah, they got to do the whole inclusive shit, but they make sure they make sure they don't go overboard with the shit. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
still try to make a fun game instead of trying to make like little catchy things like we want our game to not feel comfortable. Fun isn't allowed here. Remember that? Remember that, cool fan?
Yeah.
What is that?
You know, it does irritate me though, like when people say stuff like that. Like when they're like, yeah, the only good studio was Naughty Dog, and I'm like, how are you quantifying this, man? You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
told you what they did. They fucking because it made them laugh. Is that
no, I'm
Tibetan?
talking about like
No, I know what you're saying. Is that a Tibetan dagger in your pocket, or did you just say, "Oh, this game's so good! It's so funny."
I just like that
Fuck you,
stuff.
man. I ain't talking about you. I wasn't a dig at you. I know many of people.
Or the scene when they were in the cave in Borneo. Oh man, I love that scene too, man.
Which
It
one?
was like the one when they found the dagger, when they first found the dagger,
Mm-hmm.
and Sully was like, Nate, be careful. And then he grabbed the box and he's like, ah! Ah!
He started laughing.
he's like, don't do that. And Jules gave me a goddamn heart attack.
He couldn't even like. I love how that chemistry was because it showed through the motion capture. Because he's trying to keep the joke and he just started laughing.
Yeah, he just started laughing, yeah.
Oh gosh, never again. So that's my take. Petty gaming takes. I'm going to say my particular take. It's kind of cool to do spaces because the spaces just kind of morph into whatever apparently. So
I mean,
but I know you had some shit. I know you had some other raggedy ass takes.
no, I know, right? But I mean, aside from that, just people kind of like I said, I don't really know like how people quantify whether a studio is crap or not crap. I think a lot of times they just kind of do it based on whether or not they like the game. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's half true.
Because
I can't just give that to you. I think that statement is half true because there's a lot of people that haven't finished Uncharted as well. And they still say that, we're going. I'm sorry, I'm keep cutting you off.
I mean,
my bad.
I'm actually talking about some of the other studios. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people already kind of like unanimously sort of, decided that Naughty Dog was one of Sony's better studios, or if not their best studio for most people. You know what I'm saying? Or for a lot of people. But even like the other ones, you know what I'm saying? Like Gorilla, you know what I'm saying? Like Gorilla is no good, and then they say studios like Sucker Punch, you know what I'm saying? Even though I mean, it's like, come on, man, Sucker Punch.
People still say Sucker Punch is still average.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
like,
kills me.
bro, don't you understand like what they ended up doing? That's not like, it irritates me. This is another thing, right? All the other studios, right, have to do above and beyond shit. They have to go out of their way to try to make a good game. Whereas Naughty Dog, all they got to do is make it pretty, funny, or excuse me, pretty and emotional, and have a good storyline. The gameplay has always been it's not mediocre. That's not what I want to say. It's definitely simplistic. It's not doing anything across the board, And it's in, you know what I mean? Their greatest leap to me was from fucking Jack 1 to Jack and Dexter to Jack 2.
Mhm.
And the second greatest leap was fucking Crash Bandicoot. No, excuse me. But if you look at the stuff that Naughty Dog did, they usually took an existing idea and polished the fuck out of it. You had a platformer, Mario, they polished the fuck out of that. Kart racing, polished the fuck out of that, right? Uncharted, I mean, you already had like cover shooters, you know. Um, what was the other one? Yeah, Gears of War, they polished the fuck out of that. You know what I'm saying? And added the storyline. All of the games pretty much had a decent narrative.
Mhm.
Very, very simplistic narrative, but it was decent. Like it was put together well. And and you go from Sly Cooper, right? That was open in nature anyway, and was basically like a stealth game, right? And it didn't look like anything the fuck else. Sly Cooper's art style is very iconic. It's back when that cell shading was really big. You know what I mean? So they had that shit going on. It was a pretty decent game, right? Then they took that and they just moved it to a fucking mature, or excuse me, they moved it to like a superhero game. Albeit, like, well, it was a shooter technically, but they had to create like a new idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't like a typical superhero game. You know what I mean? It was a shooter essentially, and they had to make an open world game, which they don't have any type of. They don't know how to do that. And I have to give Naughty Dog credit for doing that as well. But Naughty Dog has always been bigger than Sucker Punch. And then they had to take that and make a whole fucking samurai game. And I want to point to you that Ghost of Tsushima is the largest game under Sony in terms of space.
Not Days Gone.
No. Days Gone is still has linear aspects. There's still invisible walls.
Oh, okay.
Not only that, but it's bigger. A lot bigger.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, there's not like houses. Well, I guess there are little houses and stuff like that to go to, but they never created a day and night cycle. They never, you know, a lot of things they had to do from scratch. And they had to. I never played a hack and slash like Ghost. I feel like that's a unique thing. Instead
Me
of just
either, man.
literally, it's
Yeah.
different. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not a
different.
typical. It's not a typical hack and slash to me.
No, it's not. I mean, because and you know that's what I actually liked about the game too, man. And that was actually one of the things that I liked about that Star Wars game too. What was it called? Jedi Fallen Order. The game is very technical. You know what I'm saying? Like it can be very technical when you
I'm
learn.
gonna mute my. I'm gonna mute my mic real quick. But continue.
Okay. Yeah, you know, Ghost is it's a very technical game, like in terms of the sword combat, um, because like you can't just spam your sword. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate it when you jump into a game and you could just spam the attack button and win. You know what I'm saying? You can't really do that in Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I'm saying? Because you come across enemies who can counter your abilities. You know, and they give you all of these whatever different stances that you could use to kind of like mix and match as you're fighting the different enemies. Um, but yeah, like all in all, man, the game feels very different and unique with how you sort of like approach the combat with the enemies and stuff like that. You know, and it feels good too, man. I actually really enjoy that about um, you know, just games in general. As a matter of fact, that's something that I've learned about myself. Is that I actually really enjoy technical games, like technical styled games, where you sort of have to back up and think about what you're going to do. Uh, and I mean like just in general, like the whole way the game is structured. You know, either in combat, like in the thick of the combat, or you know, like Ghost of Tsushima, for example, where you can kind of choose to back up and do the ghost elements and stuff like that. There's just still a technical aspect to that as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool because it makes you I don't know, it makes you feel like you have um, like you had to acquire a skill to do that. You know what I'm saying? And not every game feels like that, man. You know, especially not every uh, how can I say, like action oriented game. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, if you play like something like a JRPG or something, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yes, it's slow. It's going to be technical. It's going to be turn based or whatever, right? But something like Ghost is it's all real time, you know. So you have to figure out like how to approach the enemies and take advantage of their weaknesses and stuff like that. You know, all real time, all in real time, which I love. I love that, man. And that was one of the things that I liked about the what you call it, the Star Wars game too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now I want to say this. What were some of the other poor takes that you've seen online? I feel like we got blown way off topic.
Yeah.
Courtesy of me.
I mean, it's all good, man. I mean, we're having a conversation about it anyway. But
Right.
I mean, some of the other stupid stuff that I see, and I know you see it too, man, is like the resolution wars, and you know what I'm saying, like the little minor differences in frame rate, and you know what I'm saying, whether or not like I don't know, a piece of the environment has more lighting or more level of detail and stuff like that. Like I don't know, man. It was kind of funny at first, but it's I don't know. At this point, it's getting old. Actually, it is old. I'm just kind of sick of it. You know what I'm saying?
I think people really, they really like they they really believe that shit. Like they really are like, whoa, my game runs 2 more frames extra a second under this circumstance. It is the definitive edition. Shut.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man. There's like freaking a million mental gymnastics that people go through with that, man. You know, like even me. Like I remember when the consoles first came out, right?
Right.
And it was just funny because, as a matter of fact, dude, remember when we were in the Discord and I asked you about which console do you think would be better, like more superior hardware wise?
Right.
And
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, and you told me that what you call it, that you had a hunch, right, that the PS5 might perform better, because of whatever what was it, the CUs and stuff like that, right?
No,
Um,
it was simpler to kind of delegate all of the worker bees. They had like 36 versus like 54, so it was like that makes it harder for you. Not only that, but those worker bees are actually a lot faster than the 54. You know what I mean? You can
yeah,
get a lot of efficient things going on done. You know what I'm saying? With less work in that case. But go on.
yeah, and I remember at the time, I kind of kept my mouth shut about it on the internet, you know what I'm saying, because I wasn't gonna be like, yo, the PS5 is gonna outdo the X. I'm like, okay, nah, because there was already a lot of information that was kind of saying that the Xbox was on paper more powerful than the PS5. You know what I'm saying?
People still hurting with that narrative too, yo. Like I'm sure you guys seen this shit too. That people were sitting there like, oh, 8 months later, 6 months later, what would you pick? Well, the Xbox Series X is, a more powerful console when like most of the fucking games that are multi-platform are performing better.
I know,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? Are the same. So it's like, you know what I mean? Now you want to sit there and talk about they don't like they just robotically say it without a fucking thought. They just, you know what I mean? I keep reading this shit. It's like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, my bad.
No,
Technical stuff.
no, no, no. I said, it's just funny. But even when I first started doing it, you know what I'm saying, like at the start of the generation,
Right.
um, I partook in it because I just thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying? All these, I mean, bro, for months, man, all you heard was, the Xbox is more powerful. It was, whatever. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. It was gonna have better graphics and better frame rate, better resolution.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah, X gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? All that.
Part
And then
two, part two.
yeah, and then when the PS5 came out, the games were looking better. You know what I'm saying? So at the time,
You ever did your family was like, I don't know what this is.
yeah, exactly. I think it's a bug, you know.
It's
but
fucking
but
ridiculous.
at the time, it was funny. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was, at least to some extent, warranted. You know what I'm saying? Because like for months, these dudes were just on it, like, oh, Xbox is X gonna give it to you, X gonna give it to you, that kind of thing, right? And And then obviously all the PlayStation guys were having fun. I was one of them, But now it's just getting to the point where it's like,
it really is
okay,
old. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I get it because we're still 1 year. We haven't even hit a year yet. You know what I mean? But things haven't changed other than, it's funny because, like, do you remember when Sony finally came out and was like, yo, it's 10.3 teraflops, right? And we got laughed out of the fucking gaming space.
oh yeah, yeah. During Mark Cerny's
You
talk,
know what I mean? They just constantly with the shit. And this thing, no one knew what the fuck they were talking about, but they swore up and down that they did. And it's just like, come on, man. My God. I'm so tired of it, yo. It's like with the Xbox people, what games are you playing? What is it? I can't say exclusive anymore because saying exclusive means that it's only on that console, obviously. And I don't want to use a role, it's only on that console when you talk about the console space. It's not. But what game is utilizing your $500 hardware
yeah,
to its most optimum? Because if you talk about third party, you already got a lower costing console doing better or the same. So what game are you playing that's optimized for, your console that you're championing for? It's just like, huh?
It
yeah.
has to be Halo for them. That's all they have.
Put that in there. Put that in.
Nah, let me see. I think this is the first time I've seen you in here, man. Great season access.
Yo, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, first one. What's up, boys? You trying to run some Warzone?
Run some Warzone. This guy doesn't like Warzone, man.
Damn. What are y'all playing then?
I honestly, I'm trying to beat the co-op for what do you call it, Ghost of Tsushima, and then I'm pretty much free. I'm working on Guilty Gear Strive too. You know, on a hardcore shit, real hardcore.
Real hardcore. Hey, I heard a lot of good things of Ghosts. Has it been good for you?
Ghost is. It makes it difficult to really judge Ghost because it is a cross-platform game. Me and Ken spoke about this a lot, like a shit ton, about what makes a next generation game a next generation game. You know what I mean? Because we're at this level where the graphics are relatively the same. Like
Diminishing
even
returns at this
it
point.
really is like super diminishing returns. Like you can talk about ray tracing all day, but we had effects that kind of cheated and kind of looked like ray tracing anyway. You know what I'm saying? So like, what does it bring? What do you use console bring to the table other than frame rate? And what Sony decided to do, since this is a PlayStation centric Twitter, is the controller is. Do you have a PS5?
I have a PS4.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm not
Hey,
on it yet.
Do you have a Series X or S?
I have the Series X.
Okay, and what's your take on this? What's your take on the console itself?
Well,
Do you agree? Would you agree with it not feeling like a leak?
well,
Hey, let him talk, man.
yeah, it's all good. I've always felt the same way about Microsoft and PlayStation. I feel that Microsoft made a home console that allows you to do everything. It allows you to play games, watch your DVDs, has your daughter's favorite Netflix channel, all that shit. But with PlayStation, I've always felt that it's strictly a gaming console. It has amenities like Blu-ray and stuff like that, but when it comes down to it, it's a gaming console. So for the older generation of players, PS4, obviously the graphics aren't going to be that great. I can only imagine what they are like on PlayStation 5, bro. They're just like breathtaking.
I'm gonna be honest with you and say that they're very clean, and the frame rate is definitely a nice addition. But just like with every gaming console, the first year isn't it.
Right.
That's not it. It's going to take some time. The loading stuff, it's like, honestly, it's a quality of life at the moment. Like Ghost of Tsushima is, you have to experience the controller. You really do. I know that sounds like hardcore cap, but I wasn't really a big believer in the controller. I really wasn't. I was like, whatever. I wasn't a believer in it. And then I played Astro's Playroom, and I started to see what the controller could do. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, because Astro's Playroom is looked at as a demo, and it's not. It's a full ass game. And then
Oh,
I picked up the game called Return. And it is. It's honestly the quality of Astro's Playroom is no different than a Nintendo game. It's really
It's just a little,
charming.
it's just a little on the short side, you know what I mean? But the actual quality of the game is like through the roof, man. It's fucking insane.
It gives you
I guess the
just
frame
enough.
rate also comes into play when you're playing a certain game. Like obviously you're not going to care about frame rate if you're playing Warzone, right? Like you want to see the details of Ghost, so you're gonna obviously, you know what I mean. You care more about that frame rate as opposed to a fast-paced game like Fortnite or something.
Are you going to pick up the PlayStation 5 at some point?
Eventually, and I like that you said the first year isn't the best to cop because hella expensive. Plus, they got to work out the bugs. So I'm not in any rush. And when my PS4 gives out, then then I'll think about it. But right now, I'm chilling.
So let me ask you this: what made you get the Series X?
Oh well, I switched over from Xbox. Okay, so my whole life I've been an Xbox guy. I had the original. I had the 360, and then my pretty much most of my friends were on a game that I wasn't on. You know, just like you have specifics to Xbox, you have specifics to PlayStation. So I noticed that all my friends were having a Switch, and I didn't want it. I just wanted the extra space. I'll say that.
Extra space physically, or like just what do you mean?
Like extra space physically with the newer console. It's different from the bulkier one, right? The original that you have with the PlayStation. It's very large.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. If you're going to get a PS5, that shit has to be like an accessory to your bedroom.
Hey man, it's better than the
That's
Xbox X. Thing's looking like a goddamn trash can.
like it's not even no cap though. It's an elegant looking system. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a
I
centerpiece. It's like
mean,
a piece of
it's like
furniture.
it's like pussy, man. Like not all pussies are gonna look good.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Jesus.
right. I'd rather my
Yeah,
my
I mean, you got some that look pretty, and you got some that look like roast beef. I mean, it's just like
Hey, yeah, I'll be happy when I get. I'll say the Xbox X. That's looking like some Ukrainian 80-year-old pussy.
It's a fucking block, yo. Come on, get this pussy. Come on, get it. I got a button on it.
Like, no, I don't want it.
But honestly,
Mhm.
let me ask you this then. What kind of games do you play?
Well, I got my
Type.
friends who play Warzone, you know, so
Okay.
late nights we'll play that. Besides that, I like my racing games. I play a lot of Crew 2, and then I like artistic games like The Last of Us, obviously. Skyrim's great. Lately, I've been on this kick of Breath of the Wild, but that's a separate console, you know.
Right. So I
you
wanted
said
to ask you
wild.
this too.
So I don't. I'm not a stan to PlayStation. I have a few consoles in my name.
And
What
that's
was
fine
it?
though. What was that game again? You said Wild? What was it?
Oh, Breath of the Wild, but that's Link. That's on Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
thought you said wild. That game, the weird one where you could like morph into birds
that
or
shit.
something like that. Yeah, it was something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that shit was canceled as fuck.
Yeah.
Cancel the shit out of that. No, but like, okay, so a couple
I
more
like
questions.
Horizon Dawn is great. It's a great game.
Yeah, that's you talking to the ultimate fanboy of this fucking. Anyway, well, how old are you?
I'm 25.
25. Okay,
On the
so
cusp. I'm 24 right now.
at least somebody knows what on cuff means. Yo, I'm telling you, this nigga was holding on to 20. What was it? 26 because he don't want to turn. He's like, man, he was like, I'm a 26-year-old boy. I'm like, nigga, you a 27-year-old nigga.
Shut the fuck up, man.
You old as shit, yo. You can't hold on to that age no more. You done.
I think
Good
after
job.
25, yeah. When's the official date that you're not a boy anymore?
Yo, you 26 going off 43.
No, November 3rd.
Yeah,
And he's trying to hold on to 26. Nigga, you 27. How about
You
that?
gotta find some new hobbies with that age, man.
No, I mean honestly, I'm 36,
Okay, no worries. Hey, age is
and
just a number. It doesn't mean much to me. I got a few
yeah,
friends that are like twice my age. They're in their 50s, bro. They're chilling. Fucking
that's
savage. Bro.
that's good though. And I asked you for your age to see just the demographic of what they play and what everybody plays. And I come from the gaming era that did platformers or adventure games and stuff like that. So I would have, if I had a Switch, I would have loved the Breath of the Wild
Right.
and those particular games. I like Horizon, and I love what they're doing with Horizon Forbidden West. I would say honestly, Forbidden West that's coming out in like, well, you're gonna be able to play it anyway. Oh, and that's a good topic though. I didn't catch your name. What was your name again?
Yeah, you can call me Gray.
Gray.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, Gray. So this
His
is what I
name
want
say
to
great,
ask.
nigga.
Who that? Oh, fucking
But
retro.
Mr. 20,000 accounts.
Man, these niggas some hoes, bro. Hoe ass
I was
niggas
going
on here,
to I
man.
was going to say Gray, right?
Yeah, yeah.
People get mad at Sony. This was another take because this is the
Fuck.
same topic.
Oh, here we go.
People were getting upset. This was the petty gaming take that Horizon was an ugly game or it's going to be an ugly game because it's cross-platform and they shouldn't have done it. But
I
here
remember that
we are.
bullshit.
But here we are with this gentleman here that hasn't made the jump to PlayStation 5 yet, but he still has access to the fucking Horizon Forbidden West.
Mm-hmm. And other God of War that's coming out too, nigga.
It makes sense that Sony did what they did because of people like you, Greg.
God of
I've been
War.
told y'all that. I've been told y'all that shit.
You
Nah,
know,
man, that chicken go on the grill, cuz.
I
but
feel you, bro.
What the hell?
My bad, I just got off of work, cuz.
but that's the point that I'm trying to make. I feel like we need to segue into the last topic here. 'Cause I don't want to hold you. If you could be so kind enough, Gray, then hit that follow button because we do this every Thursday. You know,
Every Thursday, I
but
hear you, boys.
um, one of the things I wanted to say is since you have Xbox, this was a huge plan contention because people seem to think that the subscription model is the way of the future.
All right.
So, what do you say about that?
You know what? That's interesting. Since you're in here, man, what is your take on that?
On the subscription
Yeah,
side of
Game Pass.
yeah. Like services being the way of the future. Obviously, Game Pass is going to come into that conversation. But what is your take on that?
I think it is the way of the future. You're already having it implicated in your life from the time you get your PSN account, even with PS Plus, if you choose to have it. But along with the streaming, it's just convenient at the end of the day. That I would rather pay the yearly and not worry about it and just have all the access I need and get the amenities like the free games and whatnot. So I think it's unavoidable and it's the future. You see that with all platforms now. Everything will be behind a paywall in the next 10 years. Most
But what
consoles
about Game Pass? What is your take on Game Pass?
Yeah, specifically, like, do you think that Game Pass is going to be the way of the future, at least in terms of gaming, in correlation to like services and all that?
You still there, Greg? Maybe he fell out.
Oh, I think he fell out. If he jumps back in, I'll approve him. But what do you? Well, we already know what you think about this shit, Ken or Leon. The fucking.
No. See, but Ken actually, I must say, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Just tickling my fucking nose. Coochie coo. He makes it. It's a shame that we couldn't get that fucking response from him, but he makes.
I know, man.
Damn, that was a good one. Because your friend, what's his name, JC.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, I ain't buying no fucking Halo. And then we look at Halo now and look at what it is, right? I wonder, does he feel the same way now about the game that he did when we spoke in the summer?
It would have been interesting to know, man. But geez, because like when you look at Halo, man, you could definitely see that they're definitely moving more towards, trying to have the game live service. Obviously free to play now,
Right.
and I don't know, man. Like you could make the argument that it's actually neutering the quality of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because they're doing that.
They
You know,
Game Pass?
yeah, Game Pass. They're trying to squeeze the game into the service, and then on top of that, like I said, they're trying to do this free to play thing, and they're trying to do all the microtransactions, and they're trying to do on all these different platforms. You know what I'm saying? Because of the service, they want to have the service everywhere. So therefore, like they're gonna have a lot of the game on a lot of different platforms and stuff like that. So shit. I think that was the same problem that freaking MCC was having, man.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
MCC like the game was having,
Master Chief Collection.
yeah, it was having a lot of issues, man. Like it took them a long time to get that game to work, man.
I
You
think
know,
this was an actual executive order by Microsoft to they want the game to be broken up into pieces to fit in that model. The reason why I came up with the particular subject is they stated that in Japan, where they say it hit the numbers 4 times faster in terms of the sales of the console. In particular, the Series S is the one that was actually being sold more. I think like 4 to 1, something of that nature. Now, it is curious. It's not about the sales. You know me. I'm a meta kind of guy. It's about what they claim. They claim that in Japan, people were buying the Series S to play Game Pass.
where did they make that correlation though?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. It's cheaper. It is cheaper, and people don't buy games on console. I think that's the correlation. I mean, let me be honest. That's where I believe the correlation came from.
the correlation with the fact that the game is, I mean, the system is selling 4 times more, and you said that people don't play games and stuff like that. They automatically made the correlation that Game Pass is the reason why they're buying it.
Well, there's some places that stop selling Series X consoles in general because the games aren't being sold, or was it the game? Or it had to be the game. I have to see that rumor. Did you see that rumor? You know what I'm talking about?
As far as what I saw, the information about some of the major retail chains in Japan, what you call it, not selling the consoles anymore.
Oh, so it's the consoles. That's what I want to figure out, not the games.
No, it was the consoles. Yeah, because they were talking about Japan and some of their, I think it was like three of them, like 3 of the major retail chains, man, in Japan literally just completely stopped selling the consoles altogether. Just stopped, and yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it was because they just didn't have much incentive because you know how it is, man, when it comes to supply chains and all that type of stuff, man, having to quantify all of that logistics and all that, man. And if the company like Microsoft, obviously their main focus is not really to sell the console, it's more like an accessory at this point, So the biggest thing is like trying to sell their service. So it doesn't really make sense for them to do. It makes sense to me, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not really trying to focus on the console. It makes sense that why waste the shelf space. You know what I'm saying?
And people are not really buying it. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. My bad. Hold on. Sneezing all the place. I don't know how you can really come out of nowhere with that fucking correlation. That shit is wild. It is absolutely wild to come up with a crazy ass correlation like that. Like, where do you get that from, my guy? Where do you get that from? That makes no sense. How come people just can't be buying a console to resell it? Because again, the store itself doesn't correlate to you buying the games either. You can see the download list. So where you getting that? No, where you getting that reasoning from? Where is that coming from?
True. I don't know, man. But then again, we're talking with the same people who literally heard Phil Spencer say that Game Pass, the last public number was 18, and they ran with 30. They, you know what I'm saying, just automatically like, oh my
Well,
god, 30.
no. Well, let's be honest. Let's not be like them, because honestly, they had reason to believe that. One, there was reporters, quote unquote reporters, stating that okay, a head honcho from Rockstar was saying it was 30.
Yeah,
That's
but
where you get the number from.
I know, but if you listen to the whole interview though,
No, I know, but the interviewer in the fucking, what do you call it? The fucking reporters were all saying that shit. So they spit the, you know, people don't read, they don't read shit. They only read the title and keep it moving. You already know how it works.
well, see, here's the thing that gets me, man. Like Microsoft, I mean not Microsoft. Phil Spencer literally corrected him and said, you know, the last public number was 18 million sales, right? The only other person that we know of that besides what's his name, Tim something, I forgot his name, the guy, the head guy at Rockstar.
I was gonna say Tim Sweeney, but I don't
I was gonna say Tim Burton. I don't know why, but
The Nightmare Before Christmas and shit.
yeah. But the only other person that I know of, you know, that even mentioned numbers for for Game Pass was Jez Corden, you know, and he was supposed to be some kind of like Windows influencer or something like that, right? So supposedly he has like some kind of inside connection, but even that wasn't
But
official.
still, it was still flimsy as well because it wasn't official, and you couldn't really get that down. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean, so what do you take from that? Because I mean, because the conversation at play is literally do is it the way of the future because of what's going on in Japan? You know what I mean? Even though we can definitely cross-reference its success by looking at the fucking Xbox Live store right there in your fucking pussy lips. It's right there. So like I'm not understanding why people came up with this fucking like they just fucking just coming up with doing whatever the fuck you want to do apparently.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, bro. Like they freaking coming up with some random correlation, you know, when at the end of the day, man, there's just a lot of different variables that could have factored into it. You know what I'm saying?
You can think Benji sales. Oh, it's sold 4 times as much. You know, in 1 year, then you know, it took Xbox One 4 years to get to 100,000. And I'm like, all right, so part of it is the age of the demographic of gaming in general, which is why I asked Gray for his age. I always got to get that information. You know what I mean? Should ask him for his dress size.
You said his jizz size?
No, nigga, dress size. Fucking should have did. I should have did fucking Kevin Samuels. Dress size.
Dress size?
How you look like? Would you make yourself fresh out of the shower? No makeup. That's what I should have said. No, but he said some things, some some revelations, and those revelations were honestly, he's a young guy. He's a fan of Xbox. He ended up buying a PS4 for some reason, and the rhetoric for PS4 is well, it's what do you call it? The rhetoric for PS4 is that it's single player games. So that's why he ended up buying that, but he has Warzone on Xbox. Which is kind of curious. Why did he ask us if we want to play Warzone, I guess on the PS4? Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
Even if let's say he wanted to play. I heard and I had Bluetooth and I got rat ears. I heard his PS4 in the background screaming. So he's still playing his PS4. He's still playing his PS4 even though he has a Series X, which is telling, to say the least.
Curious indeed.
Just saying. But yeah, Benji Sells always plays the fucking neutral nigga, yo. All the time, man. All the fucking time, yo. The neutral shit. It did what Xbox One did in 4 years. Xbox One launched for $500. People don't get it. It's 300. That's why it's selling. And then, okay, so it's selling. So what games are they playing?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Is that what they doing? Is that they play that in Japan?
Probably. I mean, a little bit, I would imagine, but I'm sure the demographic is not nearly as much.
Not only that, but what's on Game Pass? I guess they playing the MLB The Show. I guess they like basketball.
Maybe.
Smart niggas like calculating trajectories and shit.
I think it's probably selling because of the convenience of it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. There's enough to sell. The game sells will correlate. I don't think they even had games. Or I guess people can look at it like, oh, well, there's only sold 100,000. You can't get mad at them like that.
I just don't understand the correlation between, like saying the console sold 4 times as much, than what the Xbox One did, right?
And it took 4 years for it to do that.
Yeah, and then automatically run with the whole thing of like, yo, this is going to be the future of like, I'm like, oh, wait, hold up, what was it? You said the Game Pass is going to be the future, right?
Subscriptions. Our subscription is the future.
Well, I mean, I get it. Like a lot of things that we're doing now are obviously service based. You know what I'm saying?
Because the PS Plus isn't going away anywhere, ever. Ever. It's not. That shit is fucking sale. It's never going away.
Yeah. So I mean, like the services are there, man. I think they're here to stay. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not, and not to, I mean, I don't know. I guess the topic is about services. I mean, you can't talk about services without talking about Game Pass, man. Do you think Game Pass is going to be the future of gaming in general? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because it's just like right now, obviously, even though you can make the argument Game Pass has been around since 2017, you know what I'm saying? And they still kind of haven't really caught their groove yet, but shit. It's hard to say.
But you got to do better than what they had to do better than what they're doing. You know what I mean? Because things can catch their groove later on in life. That's not because like okay. So what's that game? What's that movie that Netflix shit that everybody's clamoring over? Squid Game.
Squid Game.
It took 10 years for somebody to put that shit out. So it can happen. Same thing with Family Guy. They kept being rejected by every fucking body, and then eventually it caught on. But you have to still put out the quality. You can't just like. The thing is about Game Pass is that the illusion that was given to everybody, which I don't know how you feel about the subscription service being the future. The illusion was that you get your games day and date, and I still have yet to see a decent game that's not like early access. And what is it? When you bought all those studios, Microsoft, where's your day and date?
You already know. You neutral, motherfucking neutral. No, you know what? You know what my take is, honestly, man. I don't really think. No, here's what I think. Right, I don't think at least right now for a while, Game Pass is going to be, the future of how we're going to play our games. Right, that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? I do think that it's going to have its place in the gaming space. As like a compliment. I know, right? As a compliment to what we're already doing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, I just don't think that the numbers are there to kind of like really show that there's enough interest in the service to kind of like automatically say like, yo, Game Pass is going to be the future of gaming in general. services, obviously there are a lot of things service based, that are there that are taken over or whatever, or that have taken over. But is Game Pass going to be the way of the future? It's hard to say, because even like with like Netflix, for example, because everybody fucking loves correlating Game Pass with Netflix, right? I don't know if you know, or
So
anybody
does
else.
so does Phil Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if you know, but or anybody else. But Netflix was started back in like the '80s, bro.
I
Like
didn't know that deep.
I'm not even joking.
I,
Like
I want to
the
see the
original,
receipts.
the original
The
idea for Netflix.
original me with the receipts.
I could pull it up for you, but
I'm fucking with
no, but seriously, Netflix, because everybody loves to make that correlation though. They're like, yo, Game Pass is the Netflix of gaming. Yo, Netflix started back in like the '80s, bro. I'm not even joking. Like when my parents were young, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Netflix was around. It's just that they were ahead of their time. You know what I'm saying? They were way ahead of their time. Fucking 30, 40 years ahead of their time. You know,
how was the motto for Netflix back then?
it was the same shit. They were talking
So
about,
they would send you VHSs and DVDs, or not?
they were
Well, I'm sorry, cassette tapes.
Well, yeah, well, they were talking about, being able to have access to all of these movies and stuff like that, right? Via a digital interface. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Which obviously, people at the time they were like, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? Like this is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
but
everybody,
in practice, how did it turn out?
well, they didn't fucking catch on until like 2010. So
Here's the thing, right? Because they were doing things, I believe, in the early 2000s, but what they ended up doing was mailing it out to you. That's what they ended up doing. They were mail
that
out
was
the
in the
DVD.
early 2000s. Yeah, that was in the early
Yeah,
2000s.
they were. And you want to know something that's also little is cool, real cool.
Was cool.
Game. I'm trying to think. What's the gaming version? The gaming Netflix.
The
GameFly.
Gamefly, yeah.
Where's that at now?
No, I mean it's still there, but I remember like people talking about it like fucking 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
because my friend Terry used to be all up on GameFly.
yeah, like, yo, you gotta check this out. You could
No,
rent
he
this
did it.
game.
He did it for platinums. He has 50. I think he has 54 platinums. So that's what his MO was. Is to go out and platinum games.
No,
And
that's crazy.
so he would play the game. He would go online. He would see how to beat the game or whatever, and he would platinum it. That's how he would satiate it. But if the model was so strong, especially back then, how come it didn't catch on? Sony didn't really have a store at the time, so it could have been really big. Sony could have acquired them, but it didn't catch on. So one could surmise the store, you downloading it the way you do with other services is this the reason for its partial demise. But at the same time, here's the thing. This is why I'm kind of mad at Microsoft in this case. If you're going to do a service like this, you got to do it right. Do it
You know
right.
what? You know what I think their downfall was with, or I'm not gonna say their downfall, their mistake with Game Pass. You know what I'm saying?
The Game
Um,
Pass.
for Game Pass, yeah,
Okay.
is the fact that I think they're trying to do it backwards. You know what I'm saying? They're doing everything backwards. Like the model itself is
It's a
solid.
sound model. It's a
It's
sound
sound,
model.
yeah. It's solid, yeah. It's a solid model, but the thing that they're missing is that is
The
that
games currently. No.
bros. I'm not even fucking kidding with you, bro. At the end of the day, I think they're missing the fact that people want to play
They
a
want
good.
to play a game.
They want to play a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
here,
like
but
the
here's
fact.
the funny, here's the funny thing. Just to piggyback on what you were saying, the funny thing about this, right, is that even if Microsoft wanted to go the route that they're going now, in terms of breaking up the games into small bite-sized pieces, you don't even have it.
Oh, you mean like the IP?
No, I mean like, okay, they want to make little 1, 2 hour, 3 hour games. You know what I mean? Cool. But come with it. You can't come on a wish and a prayer. I guess you can because they
Oh,
people.
you mean like they need to actually like tangibly have something that people can play.
When you launch something, music, movies, theme parks, porno, whatever the case is, when you launch something, right? You want to make sure that you have the product. I mean, could you imagine some pimp come up to you like, "Yo, it's the last time you had some pussy," and you were like, um. Yeah, it's been a while. I got some crazy pussy, yo. Just give me your money right now. Here's some pictures of what could be, and I'll get back to you on the pussy in 2 years. Hey, this shit, it's not how it works. You got at
I bet
least
you,
you
I
can,
bet you,
huh?
I bet you some idiot would go for it.
Somebody's
He's
like
like, oh
waiting and
yo,
shit like that. Yo, it's gonna be so good. I
hey,
can't
that pussy
wait.
gonna be so wet, yo. I can't wait.
Yo, he said it's gonna be wet. It's crazy. These fucking people are dumb, yo. Do what you want to do with your money. I ain't gonna get mad at you. If that's what you want to buy, fine. You know what I mean? Because that sounds like I'm being overly hypocritical. Because guess what? Niggas that like to win arguments and shit like that. Who are you to judge what a value is?
I
Shut
mean,
your ass up.
you could tell right now, man, that they're really trying to rush to get some IP on their platform. You know what I'm saying?
Something. And they can't really
Yeah,
do it because there's contracts that before they purchased it, they had to adhere to the contracts. That's why you can't have some exclusivity. You know what I'm saying? Because of the contract, they get sued for it. Fine, whatever. And I guess if they want that smoke, they can get it. But the argument here is subscriptions. And is it the way of the future? Is it?
I don't know because here's the thing, man. You know, like a lot, like when you talk about our services the way of the future, right? Game Pass is it's not the only service, obviously, but it's like it's kind of like a front and center conversation. You know, when people
Right.
talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you look at Game Pass, like I said, or like we both said, the model is sound. You know what I'm saying? The model is sound. It's just they don't have the IP to support it. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell that they're really trying to, you know, really trying to rush to get some IP on their platform. You know, so it begs the question. It's like, well, is it going to be the future? You know what I'm saying? Because like even them trying to churn this shit out right now, they're doing this shit all backwards. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
People are coming to the fucking show without a product and shit. Like, huh?
yeah. You
You
know,
know
it's
what I'm
like
saying?
it's
People love PlayStation Plus, right? Because you get the multiplayer games, and people like the discounts, and people like the monthly games on there. That's a model that Sony created. You know what I'm saying? Which, to be honest with you, in itself is Game Pass. You know what I mean? I would rather Sony consolidate all this shit. To be honest with you, but then that's going to mean it's going to raise the price. So don't do that shit, Sony. But I mean, you know, the model is a losing revenue model. I mean,
it
you
is.
lose money by doing it. So you got to have deep pockets or crazy investors. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make a lot of people happy. That's one thing. People got to see, like you got Squid Game, which is the highest ranking or highest viewed show on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? And most people are going to buy that shit or buy as purchase a subscription to see a show like that. You know why are they paying for the subscription? I don't know because they have some fucking content. That's why. That's why they buy. I even wanted to before it started to get too normy. I wanted
Wait,
to look
wasn't
at
that
the
on
fucking.
Netflix?
It's Netflix.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I almost was looking at that shit. I was like, you know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of Gantz. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I told you about that. You haven't seen Gantz before, but like, that's what I was thinking to myself. I was like, kind of remind me of Gantz. I kind of want to see that shit. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why you would buy something. Now I'm just going to buy a subscription because of the Dave Chappelle special. That's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why they get my money is because they have content. You can't
Yeah.
sit there. You got third party games and they're old, and then free to play games or early access games the only games that you have. That shit dumb. It's real dumb.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. I think I also do think, man. It as far as like the model for Game Pass, it does beg a concern. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the longevity of it, because I don't know, bro. Like a lot of people are like you said, right? You said that Game Pass requires a lot of money, which it does. You know what I'm saying? Not anybody could just go out and do it because the thing is that the service requires strong third party support, as well as strong first party support. You know what I mean? And that requires a lot of fucking money. And in order to convince these people to put their game on the service, you have to have the numbers to back that shit. You know what I'm saying? 20, even 23 million subscribers is just not
It's
enough.
a fucking drop in the bucket.
Yeah, it's a wash. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
But
just
people
it's
are
not
like, yo, I have to put my game on this platform for which you're only giving me this. Okay, so if you have any knowledge in the music industry, if somebody says, I'll buy this beat off of you for $5,000, that seems like a lot of fucking money that you didn't have before, right? Give me it. But that beat is theirs. And since they bought that beat from you, they are going to put their voice onto that beat and give it to somebody else. And each spin that that fucking song gets, or however many people listen to that song, they're going to get like, I don't know, 2 cents. And millions of people listen to that shit and continues to listen to that shit for years. You got fucked out of your money. That's what happened.
yeah.
That's what Game Pass could be the potential for when it comes to small developers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people will take that shit because they hungry. I'm starving. My lips is white. Give me that shit.
Yes, my lips is white.
You know,
I think
they'll
it's
take
I, think, I think it's a double-edged sword, man. You know what I
it
mean?
is.
Because on one end, right, you have these in particular the small developers, like the indie developers, who obviously they don't have a lot of revenue to kind of do their games in the first place, right? And then on top of that, obviously there's always a challenge of getting your game in front of a lot of people, right? So Game Pass does sort of answer that like question, right? Like getting your game, getting some of the backing for it, because I think, and obviously we don't know all of the answers to this, but I do believe that what Microsoft does is they give these developers a lump sum of money, in order to get their game onto the
They would
service,
have to. That's
right?
a contract. They would have to say, listen, if you put our game on there, we'll give you $1 million right out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And that's the gamble. That's what David Jaffe will like. And honestly, he needs to make a good game if he wants to be in the industry again. You know what I'm saying? Because calling all cars wasn't it, my dude.
yeah,
So
but it's like on one end, right? It's good because obviously, these indie developers, they get access to money, they get access to a fan base, right? But then on the other end, right, which is the potentially dangerous side of it, is the fact that, you
you don't
know,
get shit
well, yeah, one,
other than what they have. Or if your game blows up, could you imagine? Right? I get what you're saying, but could you imagine the people who made Fall Guys? Right? It was only exclusive on that shit for a little bit, for that month. But Sony be doing some straight Japanese fucking, what do you call that shit? Emperor type shit moves. They advertised that, what is it, Deathloop, knowing that it's owned by Microsoft. They just wanted that it was a straight stunt, and they straight was cackling over that shit. We're so powerful. Your game made it to the top 10, and you'll never see that shit again. Just want to show you how powerful we are as a brand. We're going to keep advertising that because everybody's looking at our platform. Let all you niggas know this is what the platform can do. So if you really want to make constant money, I'm gonna need you to come here. Who knows what deals they're doing with PlayStation Plus? I don't know what they're doing, but what I do know is that when it comes on there, you only can get that shit once. It made the same thing. Say I'm fucking wrong. Fortnite was never going to be that fucking big. You know what Fortnite was at the start at the start of the fucking last generation? The fucking zombie game. A co-op zombie game where you had to fucking build your fort so the zombies won't come in. That's what it was for. And what happened was Microsoft thought they was slick because Microsoft makes some poor ass fucking decisions. I'm just gonna be straight. Poor ass decisions. They was like, you know what? We're gonna get 1 year exclusivity of PUBG. Since that's the new hotness right now, we're gonna do that shit. Knowing that game is fucking buggy, the quality's low, but it was only on the console. Cool, right? Sony was like, and Epic Games was like, shit, we don't have anything. So Epic Games realigned that game and made it into a battle royale game. And it was free. And it destroyed everything. And why? Because it was free on PlayStation Plus. It was free on the store. And people had a taste to play in a battle royale game. And you didn't need to put no money in that bitch. You just download it. Whereas you had to buy that shit on Xbox. And it made that game that fucking big. The same thing with Fall Guys. Fall Guys, for Flash in the Pan, was a fucking cult. It was a cult classic at that point.
Yeah,
It was At that point,
I mean,
I
but
shouldn't say cult classic.
it still gave them. I mean, it still gave them the platform, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they couldn't even keep the demand up for even a PC was smashing the servers. You have executive playing that shit. The executive is on there posting their shit. Look what my daughter did. Look what such and such did. People was like, oh shit, I want to try that shit. I'm fucking executives. They already know what they're doing. So I guess I'm off topic. My point is, bad.
No, I mean, I was just gonna say, you know, like it could be dangerous because, you know, for those games that are
It's dangerous.
it's dangerous to have your game on a Game Pass. But anyway, but it's just that like I said, man, it could be dangerous because, you know, you have a fan base of people who, and this is not we're not just coming up with this shit. Like, this shit is founded in like fact. You know what I'm saying? The people on the platform don't buy as many games. You know what I'm saying? The attach rate is not the same. The completion rate is not the same. You know,
Like, and what about the reasoning as to why it's like that? It's because Game Pass.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know, like for all of these.
But can't you argue that though? Can't you argue that the reason why they don't sell that much is because of Game Pass?
You can, but there are some games, right, that were they didn't make it into like the top 10 or top 20 like on the fucking platform. So not only were they not selling, the people weren't playing them either. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like I said, the completion rate was low too. You know, like Gears of War, bro. I'm not even talking about Hive Busters. I'm talking about the actual freaking game, the full game. When it came out, that game was not, and a lot of people made that argument too. They were like, "Yo, Gears of War didn't sell because it's on Game Pass." Well, okay, that might be partly true, right? But then on the flip side, right? When you look at the number of people, well, you don't know how many people played it, but you know, when you look at how it's stacked up on the top, you know, listed games, that motherfucker dropped out of the top 20 like in the first week.
Not only that, but okay, so let me get one thing straight. Since you got people here, and don't listen, if you're not a follower of this PlayStation Culture Twitter handle, yo, you do this every Thursday. Go ahead and follow that. It ain't that bad. It ain't that difficult. It's one button press, and it's for your entertainment. You know what I'm saying? We do it for you. We love you, nigga. Love you, nigga. No homo. Pause. Shout out to Magnificent Black. Thank you for being here. Anyway, let's get one thing straight. There's been some fucking rumors about the Xbox Series S doing better than the X because of Game Pass and it being cheaper and it's smaller in Japan. It sold, and this was horrible. In 4 years, Xbox One sold in all of its iterations 100,000 units. This sold 100,000 units in, 10 months? No, 11 months. So recognize this: Xbox One released for $500 before they dropped the price or whatever it converts into yen. They had to drop the price for that one, and they had no compelling content. Why it's selling this much, even though it's not that much? Why it's selling this much? Don't get that shit confused. It's cheaper, and we don't really. And there's no indicative. There's nothing indicative that people are because people were saying that they're buying a smaller console and cheaper console because of Game Pass. But you can check the download list in Japan, which is correlates to fucking Game Pass. It's not. I don't know why it's fucking selling. Maybe they're trying to flip it. I don't fucking know. But it ain't Game Pass. Let's get that straight.
Maybe they're trying to use them to mine for cryptocurrency.
Who the fuck? But maybe. At
No,
this point, it could, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But maybe. We don't know what it is, but it ain't Game Pass. Recognize this. You have to have the quality for Game Pass. It's that fucking simple. Not Game Pass for anything. You can't have a shitty service and expect people to buy it. The second that Sony fucked up on PlayStation Plus, them motherfuckers gathering their shit and folding their clothes. They're like, I'm out of this bitch. You want to release what Shark Tales? Come on, kids. They fucking up already. They're like, Sony was like, oh, wait a minute. We got 3 games next month. Wait, we got 3. But chill on me. You know what I'm saying? Don't go nowhere yet. Because people looking up at them with their eyes and about to put down their suitcase. Like, you got 1 more month, nigga. I'm getting the fuck out of here, yo. But you can't fuck up on quality, and they're doing it backwards. It's backwards. There's no games there. The big games. If it was so successful, where is Battlefield on this bitch? You couldn't even acquire a beta day and date. Where Battlefield at?
Battlefield sells.
Where that at?
Yeah.
If the subscription model is going to destroy the gaming console, what's going on, Jeremy? If the subscription model is going to destroy the gaming console or the gaming model that they have currently, I don't have nothing. I don't have anything against I know it's not successful. Niggas is struggling with Netflix.
Yeah, and even with bro, and this is another thing too, man. Not only the whole thing with Netflix too, man. Netflix, them motherfuckers are still not making a profit on it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's going to be the same thing for Game Pass because they're already not making a profit on it. They're not making a profit on their consoles or anything like that, right? And we know that Microsoft has a tendency to destroy the whatever's not working. You know what I'm saying? Mixer, bro, they literally axed that service, bro. After spending millions of dollars to get Ninja onto the service. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, it's like, bruh. It calls into question, like, dude, do you really think that this is going to be the future, like, given all of the specifics of what's going on, you know? But anyway, as far as Netflix, right? Netflix is not making a profit, and then on top of that, right? Spotify is one of the biggest freaking platforms when it comes to music, dude. I mean, and you can play music everywhere, you know, every freaking where, on every platform, and that service only has. I'm not gonna say only, but I think it only has 500 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And you can download. I get it. People misconstrued what Jim Ryan was saying when he was like, "It frustrates me to not put games on other things." He is low key talking about subscription model, and he is talking about streaming. They have also invested a little bit more into Gaikai. No less. Not the Azure clouds, but Gaikai. You know, and they've done some things to make the latency a little better. And this correlates perfectly with, okay, so you know Sony has accessibility options for their games. What if they're doing that for cell phones so you can stream that shit?
Could be.
Their games, they always say we're walking simulators. Fuck it. Sony was like, you know what? You're right.
You can play on games while you're walking.
Y'all don't need buttons and shit. All you got is put that shit on accessibility and just push up for The Last of Us Part 2 that's going to come to your cell phones and the iPhones. All you gotta do is press up. She'll automatically slice a bitch neck and maybe eat her pussy. Whatever quick time events they got going on there. It's possible.
Yeah.
Because you can't, the phones don't have crazy software in them or hardware in them bitches to run those games at that quality. So why not stream it? They are working on something, and maybe they're using the Azure port by Azure, the Gaikai portion to speed up the latency for your controls. But they look like they're trying to go all in. That's what they mean. They're not talking about putting it on different platforms in terms of, it's really putting their game anywhere, and they know that software-wise, a phone can't run that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So
They make Uncharted Go though.
I know, right? Yo, they're gonna
I'm serious though.
Yeah, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna make Uncharted Run. Remember that temple running?
Yeah. Or like Astrobot Pocket version or something.
Yo, she gonna be like this, yo. Your kids should be like this. Is that it? Wait, hold on. She be like, is that an Xperia in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Thanks, Sony. This is Xperia. This is Xperia Mark III with a 12 megapixel camera.
You know how much Pokemon Go made? Like for real.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, fucking insane, man. But yeah, man, like the thing
That's
that I
what
was
I think they meant. I meant they could contract out smaller companies and put versions of their games in pocket mobile games.
Why do you sound Canadian, Jeremy?
I don't know. I got headphones on.
He's like, out. You already say out. Yeah, you contract out.
Yeah, you said to me or Nelson?
Nelson sounds Canadian.
Oh,
Yo,
I'm pretty close to Canadian.
Bro, hey, look, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about this? Because I was talking to Nelson a while back, and I asked him, I was like, yo, Nelson, are you from Canada, man? Have you ever been to Canada?
Are you from Canada?
Yeah, I know. Are you from Canada? He was like, but he's like, nah, man. He's like, I've never been to Canada, and I was like, you got to be close, man. You have to be close to the border or something, man, because I can hear that, the accent. And he was like, yeah, I could hear it. And where did you say you were again? It was, I don't know. Minnesota, yeah. And bro, I looked at the map. I'm like, this bitch is literally on the border of Canada.
He probably saw Fatal, yo. Fatal threw a fucking
hey, it would be a lot closer for me to visit Fatal than any of you guys.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But dude, I was saying earlier.
Fatal gonna come in and be like, hey, what's going on, fucktards?
I know, right? You fucking fucktard idiots.
No, I was gonna say in Japan's like the hardest place to get a PS5. So if people want a system, I mean, I think Sony doesn't see that as a battleground because if they don't have consoles to fill there, they're not gonna sell 5 million Xboxes there. They're trying to get that shit to Europe and America because if you ain't getting those there, they're gonna go out and buy an Xbox. Like they'll just be like, "Fuck it."
It wouldn't be a smart business decision. And
that's what I mean.
To literally release a whole bunch of consoles in a place where you don't sell, and you don't even have the games for it right now.
You have competition in those areas. In Japan, it's like we give you a couple here and there, but you ain't really getting them here because we know you motherfuckers ain't running out to buy no Xbox. America, you can't really say that.
I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you, man, because being that the PS5 is sold out everywhere, that could also be one of the reasons.
Yeah, dude. Half the people I know that buy an Xbox, I'm like, why'd you buy an Xbox? I'm like, you ever try getting a PS5, motherfucker? You ever try getting a PS5?
I couldn't get the PS5, sorry. I got the
exactly. If you're not supplying them, you know what I mean? Somebody will.
Yeah,
in Japan, they're not going to run out. If they can't get a PS5, they're going to be like, well, I guess I get an Xbox. Like, that's not going to happen on a large scale.
And they're like, people want to experience the next generation right now.
Yeah, they want it now.
Just that Xbox isn't really a next generation.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm hard pressed.
It's got quick resume though.
I know, right? But yo, it's got quick resume. I don't know.
That's all I hear. Dude.
Quick resume to go back to your old ass games.
Consoles? This one has quick resume.
No, but like as far as like the services being the future, man, I'm hard pressed to believe that Game Pass is going to be the future, man. You know what I'm
But
saying?
is it
Nah,
ever
dude,
going to be the future? Is it ever
yo,
going to
it's
be the future?
costing them a lot to try and get their numbers up to get these big third party games. It's costing them a lot of money, and eventually they're going to be like, "Look, if our games aren't bringing them in, we can't sit there and supplement with these fucking games.
Here's
We're
the
giving
thing,
it
man.
away. We're
I
fucking
think
signing all these games.
you
Like,
know
they're
what I
not
think
going to
it
do
is,
this
man.
forever.
I think it's whether or not they're going to be willing to lose a lot of money over a long period of time. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. They've already been fucking bleeding
Yeah,
money for this for 4 years. They give it away out at, hey, we got it on fucking Pop Tarts and Trolleys and fucking Taco Bell and fucking, oh, you bought a stick of gum at Best Buy, like, here's 3 months of Game Pass. Like,
One
don't wanna
could
do
even
that forever.
one could even say they've been on the bleeding edge of
the bleeding edge.
canceling.
Exactly. Bleeding
I
ass.
mean, if they're willing to lose a lot of money over a long period of time with Game Pass, right? You know,
I'm
they,
actually surprised of how patient they've been.
yeah, yeah, already. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, even if right, even if they were planning on losing a lot of money over a long period of time, it still calls into question. Like, do you really think Game Pass is going to be the future of gaming? Because like the fucking I don't know, the metrics just aren't there to kind of like support. You know, saying like the interest is there for people to adopt this model. You know what I'm saying? As the main way of playing. Do I think it's gonna have like its place? Yeah. You know, I think obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like you were saying earlier, Josh, fucking Gamefly. That shit was no pun intended. No pun intended. That shit was fly back in fucking 2008. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
But now nobody's really talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But it still has its place.
Oh
You know what
my
I'm saying?
god, my son is playing Galaga.
Yo, I
Some
just
Atari shit, dude.
Yo, Thrash just requested to speak, man. I don't. Are you still trying to speak? Is he in here, man? I can't see if he's in here or not.
I don't see him. Adam.
Yeah, I'm about to send him an invite. Yeah, because he just requested to speak. But
I didn't
Oh,
even
you
know
guys
so
are
many
building
people
up.
in there.
How long you guys been on? I was asleep. Sorry.
we've been on for a couple hours, man. But yeah, I don't know, bro. Like it's just it's
Did you add Thrash in there? Or did you
yeah,
pop? Oh, you
yeah,
didn't.
No, he's still a listener. So
I'm gonna give him an invite to speak.
yeah. I mean, I sent him the invite.
All right, so maybe he just didn't see it or whatever as of yet. I mean, I know this shit sound fanboyish as shit. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. It is what it is. At the end of the day, people
you're
tend
bad.
Hey, y'all can hear me or no?
think. Oh yeah.
Oh,
But that's, you got mute though. Nelson.
Screen, that's why. My bad.
Yo, what's
Yo,
good,
what's
bro?
going on, Thrash?
What's good, man?
What's good? What's good? Chilling, man. I'm over here cooking and shit, chilling. Know what it is? I was
Cooking.
about to. I had wanted to speak on that and Game Pass and Microsoft and how they can sustain it.
Yeah, you know what? Because I've been racking my brain trying to figure out just on a very logistical side, as I like business shit. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I like studying it, and I don't know how
I
anyone
know
can
how.
sustain that model. Okay, go on.
I know how. I was thinking. I be thinking about. I'm doing this documentary, the Xbox documentary, so I had to look up more information and shit. That I didn't think of. Like Xbox as a division, right? That's already been notified, right? It's already combined into Windows, and I think it's been. They don't even talk about the numbers of even Game Pass anymore, right? But what they're doing is they're using the whole gaming segment to push the Game Pass, like everything they make for Minecraft, which is already on every console, every platform, and popular, and still making money, can be put towards Game Pass. All the all the other third party shit, everything they got, all the games all the money they get from Steam, all that shit, straight to Game Pass. What's going to end up
Okay.
happening is the Xbox console itself is hurting Game Pass, and Game Pass is hurting the Xbox console. So one of them got to go. Clearly, they've already chose Game Pass
Console.
they chose Game Pass all the way because if you every time they mention Xbox,
No, I mean,
they
no,
mention
they
Game
chose
Pass.
the console to die, is what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, that's what they're gonna kill off. I mean, you never hear Xbox by itself. You always hear Game Pass, but every time you can hear Game Pass, and they wouldn't even mention an Xbox as
They
a
put that
console.
bitch into the guillotine, bro.
Yeah, they launched it with no games, and then they pushed Game Pass as the main feature of the Xbox Series X, even though it was pushing old ass game, right? So what they're gonna do is they're gonna they're gonna become the new EA. That's the only way that they can actually try to even sustain amount of money to where your investors will be happy. They have to become the new EA. They have to be the biggest third party conglomerate in gaming, which they would be if they were to leave the console space right now today. They'll have the most third party developers, and they would have the freedom to put their games on every console because they're no longer in competition with Sony and Nintendo. Just like how Sega did against Nintendo, and everybody PlayStation. Like you see Sonic everywhere, you don't just see Sonic in one place. So the only way that they can make this sustainable is if they were to hurry the fuck up and get rid of the Xbox. Make Halo free to play on every console. Make Gears of War free to play on every console. So they'll have that segment of free to play and third party games that won't even be on Game Pass or will be day and date on Game Pass. But you have Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? And you can still put it on other people's consoles and still say, you can still get it on Game Pass for this cheaper. It's better to go to Game Pass and sell Game Pass in that way. You don't have an Xbox console in the way. But you can use other people's more successful platforms like Sony, Nintendo, cell phones, and PC and actually grow your business faster than what they would if they still had an Xbox. The Xbox is stopping other companies from allowing their games on their console. So,
And let
You
me
know what's
say this.
interesting?
Let me hold on. Let me say this, Thrash. I've been saying this shit the second that they purchased Bethesda.
right.
I've been saying this shit. I said what Phil Spencer did when he took this idea because he's gonna lose his fucking job. He took this idea to that chocolate nigga Nadella, whatever the fuck his name is, and was like, listen, please don't fire me. I got the ultimate fail-proof plan. If this shit don't take the fuck off, we're gonna become a publisher. The only thing I didn't say is killing the Xbox. I don't know how that's gonna fit in anywhere. And I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about, are they gonna still make a generic box just so they can capture that PC space? What do you think about that? Did I get kicked out?
Well, they have to kill the box because it's the box that's they're losing money on. They make Xboxes at a loss. They sell them for minimal amount of money, and then they don't sell. So when you have those three things combined, you have to get rid of it anyway. That's why Satya Nadella was going to end it anyways, right? So
They
I
were,
think,
so they were talking about selling it. They were talking about
yeah,
selling
it's
that.
going to be a wrap. It's going
Yeah.
to be over with. And what ended up happening is, or what's going to end up happening is, they gotta sell the Xbox off, or not sell it off. But you don't have to get rid of it, right? They don't have to get rid of the Xbox because they're just not making profit on it. That's the only thing they're not making profit on. But they want to keep Xbox live. That's the key. So they're not going to get rid of Xbox as a console. They're just going to stop making it and start making everything cloud based. So then when they so-called go next gen, it's going to be cloud based. They already talked about doing it with the Xbox One and the Xbox One X and all that, saying that future Xbox Series X games will be on the cloud, right? They're going to do the same thing with the Xbox Series X, except they're not going to make a console. They're already trying to get people to just mosey on over to cloud and play in the cloud way, or play on their old console. Well, play on their old console through the cloud way, or go to Game Pass and play Game Pass through PC or whatever. At the end of the day, they got to exit. They got to exit the Xbox, and if they don't, then Game Pass will never grow. It'll never grow.
The game store, the Xbox store doesn't even do any numbers. Xbox Live don't do the numbers that it used to do.
Nobody does.
You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of
Most of do you realize Xbox? The majority of Xbox Live not majority, but a giant chunk of Xbox Live are still on a 360. You know what I'm saying? When they give you these numbers, a lot of people just don't move on to the Xbox. They no longer have to convince you to buy Xbox. They just got to convince you to buy a fucking Game Pass. And a lot of people are still on older consoles. You know what I'm saying? That's why Phil Spencer saying we don't care if you buy a new console or not. We don't care. Stay on your old console. Because they're going to bring it to you. They're going to bring it to you. You already paid in. But they want you to continue to pay for Xbox Live. Continue to pay for Game Pass. Forget about it, just like Netflix. If you look at Netflix, it never had a hardware base, right? It had that freedom to go anywhere it wanted to. It didn't have a hardware base to compete with somebody else's hardware base. So that's what they're learning from. That's why you see Excel on Apple right now. You see Microsoft Word and all that shit on Apple. Because Microsoft opened it up. Like, why are we competing with these people? They are more successful than us. Let's take advantage of the success that they have. And that's what they're trying to do with Game Pass.
Now, Cam, what were you going to say again?
See, this is why I feel like Microsoft is doing stuff backwards. You know what I'm saying? They're just doing shit backwards. You know what I'm saying? Because on one end, it seems like they're moving away from the console, which when you think about it, well, we don't really know the numbers, but more than I believe, right? I believe that the majority of the people who are using Game Pass right now are the people who adopted the console in the first place. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I mean, if you alienate the fucking console, then you more than likely you're gonna alienate a lot of the people who are even interested in your fucking service in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And then on top, yeah. And then on top of that, like me and Josh were talking about earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to push you a fucking service with no product. You know what I'm saying? It's like what was the fucking analogy you were using earlier?
That's like a pimp going up to you. Is like, yo, I got this bitch.
I got some bad pussy right here.
I got some bad pussy. That shit juicy. Look at these pictures. You see these pictures right here? You see that? Yo, here these pictures. Yo, pay me up front, and I'll give that shit to you in like 2 years.
And these motherfuckers like, yo, that pussy, that shit gonna be wet, yo, you know what I'm saying? I can't fucking wait. You know what I'm saying?
It's like $400 for that shit. Yo, my investors gonna pay the fuck off for 2 years, yo. After COVID too? Oh shit.
Yo, that shit gonna hit, bro. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're giving you like this service without giving you a reason to own the service. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that they're fucking. The thing that they're trying to sell to you is the fucking, what do they call it? The
idea, the wish,
the value. The value. No, the value. That's what I was gonna say. The value of the service. You know what I'm saying? Over the actual IP. You know what I mean? And that's why I say they're doing this shit backwards, because even now you can see that they're trying to scramble to fucking get IP on their platform.
You know what I'm saying? Any fucking thing. Say again? Man, you all the way down the street.
What did he say? I don't know what he said.
Man, you all the way down the street. You probably go back. You see cooking. But here's the thing, right? So 2 questions before we kind of wrap this up, right? These are pretty deep too. What is it going to do? Let's say Microsoft does this, right? And because it is, once they get rid of Xbox, their shackles are free to take advantage of the Switch and its clientele, to take advantage of PlayStation's clientele, to take advantage completely on PC. Now they can just have Game Pass, where they couldn't sell you Xbox Live on PC because it was, it was always free. But if they have a subscription service, people are going to pay it. So they break off the shackles. And what the model that they're trying to do is bite-sized games. You know what I mean? AAA games that are sliced up. That's what they're trying to do. Fine, whatever, right? But where it's going to leave the Xbox fan base homeless? Where are they going to go? All this fighting. Aren't y'all niggas tired? Got tired of fighting?
I wanted to say this too, man, because I noticed this as well. You know, a lot of the moves that Microsoft made recently, the reason why they got even a lot of the conversation, I mean, a lot of airtime in the media, right, is basically off of the back of like the other platforms. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, fucking MLB. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of attention because of the fact that they had MLB on their platform first. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know, so and I'm not even I can't even knock them, bro, because like on one end is like it's because Thrash was saying about it earlier. You know, they could use the other platforms to kind of like compare the two. Like, yo, you can get this on Game Pass here, right, and it's cheaper as opposed to on the other platform. It's like they're already low key doing that shit, man. Like even right now, where they are right now, the airtime that they have was based off of, you know, having something in comparison to, you know, PlayStation. So basically, they're piggybacking off of their success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even like they're out here like doing their own shit. Like they're not out here coming out with some crazy bomb ass game. You know what I'm saying? No, none of that shit. There's just like they're fucking getting a lot of talking point power in the media because of someone else's success, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Some of that is the human nature of well, it's human nature. You know what I mean? You know, Michael tried to tell us this shit a long time ago. You know, he said, why? And then that's what everybody said. And he said,
Man,
tell us human nature.
skip
Did you
your
do me
ass
that
up.
way? People want somebody. They want somebody to fall. That's just human nature. They don't like it, so they just try to fill the gap with any fucking body. That's why there's so many complaints. Nintendo's the underdog. You know, they low key underdog because they're on their own. They're on their own platform. Microsoft is really that's the true underdog that they want because they want the third party. They like I mean it's nice having Nintendo games fine, whatever. But you're not going to get the latest Call of Duties and stuff like that. So they kind of want that current model, and they want somebody else to take its place. They trying to get them out of there because they don't like Sony to be up top like that.
Yo, Stage Block looks like he wants to say something, man. What do you got to say,
They're
bro?
going. Come on.
Hey there, bro.
Yo, what's going
Can
on,
you guys
man?
hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had
Wait,
the.
hold on. Before you start talking, hit that damn follow button. I'm playing. Go on.
As a matter of fact, all you motherfuckers in here hit that follow button.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, man.
Okay. Yeah, I had the funniest conversation with some Xbox guys. Like, you know, usually on Twitter, that you see people like, um, if they liked something, it kind of pops up on your timeline.
Yeah.
And so like it was like a really delusional Xbox conversation where they showed a whole bunch of you know, Xbox games that are, you know, slated to come, but we've never seen any gameplay. And it basically said Xbox is winning this generation. And so like I was like, in what world? And you know, like, and they're pretty much having a conversation among themselves. And I'm basically saying the premise of your conversation relies on consoles. They're like, no, we're talking about the ecosystem. And I'm like,
What
dude,
ecosystem?
dude,
Where?
what constitutes a generation with an ecosystem? You can go on forever with an ecosystem. You don't need generations. You need the console because it's one specially made construct that essentially just lives for a finite amount of time, about 6 to 7 years. Like, and then he's like, "Oh, PCs have generations, but you buy PC parts. You can have
NVIDIA AMD
yeah."
dictates the generations.
Yeah, like, but that's true. But the thing is that you can have. Do you know how many times in a normal console generation they'll come up with new parts?
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's a con.
Every 6 months, right? Or some shit. Or a year.
Yeah, it's a relatively short period of time, like
Mhm.
when the iterations happen. So I don't think we consider that like generations. You know, for it's like something like you know how an iPhone or a Samsung has generations. You know,
Mhm.
Right.
it has that specialized hardware that basically you can't customize. So the thing about it is that like the guy was like, oh no, they're gonna win by having engagement and all of this other stuff like, and I was like, no, that yes, they might win with engagement. They might be the main source that everybody goes to for streaming. Yes, I can give you that. But what does a streaming have to do with generations? The premise of your argument is stupid. It's already built on shaky ground. If you're actually talking to somebody who actually has any sense in their skull, you know, a brain there, they'll realize that this is, you know, you're literally trying to change the goalposts of the actual premise of the argument so that you can actually get yourself a win. It's amazing to what degree it's gotten to where people are now essentially seeing almost anything is a generational win.
You got to give
When
them
the
credit,
console
though.
space is it.
You got to give them Microsoft credit for changing these motherfuckers' minds the way that they did. This is some
It's
absolute
it's not even
minor
dude.
mind control, like some shit. Like, this shit is fucking wild.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, it's kind of like the Bernie Sanders fans. They went and did some crazy stuff, and Bernie Sanders was like, "Hey, bro, stop." They're like, "No, we're gonna keep going." You know.
Yeah, I would keep those particular thoughts to myself because I want there's brainwashing going on all over the place. But I will say this: it's you see these conversations and they say that we're jealous. You know, anybody else? Oh, y'all jealous. People that like PlayStation, y'all jealous of what we have, yo. We got this. Look at this. They said that people are buying the Japanese is buying Series S's because of Game Pass. Where the fuck? How did that happen? Don't you know that we can calculate this shit? They said that shit. Oh, it's sold 4 times. It's sold 4 times as much at the same time period. I didn't even know the fucking Xbox One sold 100,000 units in 4 fucking years. And that shit went under the fucking radar. Nobody said shit about how poorly that shit did. I think the worst selling drink, I think the Oya did better than that.
Yeah. No, but we all know why. We all know why that happened. Like, Xbox took a huge risk in the 360 era in buying up a bunch of third-party exclusives from Japan to keep them away from Sony. And the Japanese were forced to buy Xbox 360s, and they broke 1 million consoles sold for the first time ever. The Xbox One, they had none of that. And so you basically had a console that had no Japanese support. They had to basically start from square one, and nobody knew what to do.
But that goes based off
That
goes based off what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
If you don't have the content, no one's gonna buy your shit.
Exactly. So imagine if Sony was going to use Microsoft's architecture, their the cloud servers for PS Now. I mean, what would they do with Sony when their content went ubiquitous with everybody day and date? If they could actually afford to do that, especially.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Nothing.
Because
I mean, you can throw 1,000 games at people. They're going to be playing the PlayStation games for the quality, the same way they run to Nintendo.
I wanted to ask Thrash this question if you're still here. I think you're still here.
Right, Thrash? Yeah, I'm sorry.
So now the question is this, before we pack this shit up, is about subscription services, right?
Uh-huh.
What is Sony going to do? This is the PlayStation culture. What is Sony going to do with this subscription service? There's a lot of rumblings about them doing extra things like investing more into cloud gaming, more into Gaikai.
Definitely.
What's happening there, in your opinion?
It's quite simple, man. We gotta kind of put all your beans on the table when you talk about all these companies and what they're gonna do. If you want to try to predict it, what I believe they're gonna do is they're gonna restart what they tried with PS Now, like 8 years ago, putting it on TV, cell phones, and older consoles and everything, right? Well, they already got them on their older consoles, but I believe that it's gonna move on to it's gonna be Sony Bravia TV. Like, have you heard of that Sony, that PlayStation TV?
Yeah, it's already talking about some. It's working. It works. PS5 works best.
Right.
Oh, what the?
Right, on that Bravia TV. So they're going to start using their own TVs. Because last time they went to Samsung. So they're going to start using their own TVs and not have to pay that extra money to Samsung or anybody else to put, just like Microsoft has Samsung already for Xbox. I mean, for our Game Pass. I don't know if they have a deal to where Sony can't do it with them, but they
Well,
use.
you know they have a deal with Duracell too. You remember that?
Yeah, I mean they got all that. But then Sony, I believe, is also going to do PlayStation VR and have that on PC as well inside, and then you can use games from um, um, PS Now on PC to utilize that. I think they're going to use their hardware more to push their software to get that 100 million people enjoying their artworks, like he said.
But
And
what about the console? What's
the
happening
console's
to their
fine.
console? What happened to the console? Because you said
Mm-hmm.
that it can eat into the cells of it if you
Okay.
Yeah, it's
do
gonna
that
shrink.
model
It's
of,
going
of,
to
Exactly.
shrink.
of PlayStation.
Yeah,
It's inevitable.
that's why I say they're going to separate it. Like they did this shit before, to where they got their own. They're going to have their own developers making these games exclusively to PC, exclusively to cell phone. I think they already have one. They already have a billion seller over there. You know what I'm saying? Or a million? Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
a billion seller
I
on
think
cell
it's a
phone.
billion. That's so that the
Yeah,
cell
Yeah,
phone game is doing outrageous numbers.
yeah. So they're going to make more of their games. When they say their games, it doesn't mean Uncharted. It doesn't mean Horizon. It means
Their
games made by
studios, their
them. Yeah,
artwork.
yeah, and they put their artwork on different shit. They did it before. They had Sony Online, Sony something like back. They made
It was SOE, Sony Online
Definitely,
Entertainment.
yeah, and they closed them. And I think they're gonna reopen them or make a new studio for them. I think that's why they got Nexus and all that, to where they can actually make PC type games for PC type players in their own style. And they're going to make cell phone type games for cell phone type gamers on cell phones. And still, it won't hurt PlayStation because they are not PlayStation games. PlayStation will still have its own world, just like it did with SOE.
Wait, one
You know what I'm
question.
saying?
Oh, sorry,
No,
Thrash.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wasn't Nixus for PC ports?
Part
Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
still
Well,
it
they
still
never said.
quantifies as that though too,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but,
that's
if
but
what
it
I'm
they,
can
they
go on
saying.
a
have a they have
PC,
a
it's
pedigree
still
for
happening.
ports.
Yeah. That's the thing. You get
Yeah.
them because remember what Sean Layden said on Persona shit. If y'all haven't seen it, go see it. Where he
Yeah,
said
for sure.
we don't. He said we don't buy studios for games. We buy studios for talent, basically, right? And
Mhm.
so that talent that Nexus has is they know how to make games for PC. You know what I'm saying? So they know how to get a game on a PC. Therefore, they know if they can go and make their own games, kind of like Bluepoint is already has announced they're making their own unique IP. Their specialty was to remake games, right? That's what
Mhm.
we see. Remember?
Mark this
Yeah,
now.
Yo,
yeah. So
Sean Layden even said that they
Yo, you
also.
heard me? You heard me, Ken? You
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard
Okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah, no. Even Sean Layden even said to piggyback off of that they also look for studios that like work together well within
right,
their ecosystem.
right. I mean, so I believe like The Last of Us 2 will be PC day and date cross play with PlayStation. Hell, they might even have an Xbox version of that game. I think it's going to be free to play and it's going to be everywhere.
Oh, you're
That's
talking
what
about
I think.
factions.
Factions. Yeah, not The Last of Us the game, the actual story driven game,
The
but the
universe and
multiplayer. That was the
factions.
first thing Jim Ryan said. The first thing Jim Ryan said is that our multiplayer games coming from our developers will come to PC or other platforms. That was the first thing he said. I believe that Factions is going to be that game. I think that Factions is going to be free to play on all devices that they can get it on.
What
Period.
about Fire Sprite?
Fire
Okay,
Sprite made
so
Wipeout and shit,
I
right?
think they're
Fire
gonna do
Sprite,
Wipeout.
Fire,
Yeah.
That's a first-person shooter. Yeah.
Fire Sprite is working on a multiplayer PC multiplayer game,
Yeah.
no less.
Yeah.
As you already know, they're still working on that,
Exactly.
and then Sony hasn't stopped them. I feel like there's some validity to what Thrash is saying.
Mhm.
I never really went that deeply into it.
Mhm.
In terms of, you got to think, if you're going to do this podcast, gaming and shit, you got to really take your feelings out of this shit. You
Yeah.
do.
Oh, you do.
You really do.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because you're not going to see the bigger picture, and you're not going to be able to make
No,
accurate predictions if you want to do this.
right. You're gonna be
I've
talking
said
about
this.
what you want. You know,
You
you gotta
know
see
me
that.
for over about 3 years. I've been saying this. Console players are different from PC players, are different from cell phone
Cell
players.
phone
I've
players.
always
Very
said
true.
that.
Very
They
true.
don't
Yeah.
overlap really because
Well,
the demographic is like really different.
can I
All of
say
them
something
are.
to that though? Can I say something
Yeah.
to that though? You're correct for the most part, like about 95%. But there's
I
that little.
have to speak. I have to speak in absolute terms to
Oh,
get my point across.
okay, general term. Okay,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
because the reason why I was gonna say that is because Andrew House, the reason why he invested in the PS4 Pro was because of the fact that he noticed PlayStation gamers, also they had purchases of where they were building PCs or having a company PCs in their houses that could play certain types of games. So he started noticing that people were upgrading and they needed to keep people within the ecosystem. So now that they were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, where either needed
This
to do
wasn't.
mid-gen
But
refresh.
let me pause you on this.
Okay.
The gen refreshes, right?
Yeah.
Was never an afterthought. At least not on Sony's end. They already saw what was happening with the PS3. The PS3 was very PC-like, and that's where they started noticing these trends. Really, PS2, but that's when they started noticing these trends. So now, when they started working with AMD,
Are you talking about like when Valve saved PC?
no, I'm just saying, console
Because
players
PC
were.
was having a hard time in that generation, and that's
No,
one
I
of the reasons
know.
why. That's why
Well,
PC gamers got screwed with priority of the development.
No, I
well,
mean
think
like,
about.
yeah.
Oh, my bad. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
go on, because
Uh,
you're a guest.
well, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna say. Well, think about what you said. Right. You said that
yeah,
they made PS Pro. Because of the PC shit. Right.
yeah,
I remember that rumor. I remember that rumor. Right. Or
yeah.
that whatever. I don't
No,
see
he
what
said
when
it in an
he
interview.
said
Yeah,
it himself. Right.
yep.
Okay. How did that turn out?
Oh, no, we all know it's stupid. They're gonna go anyway. It
What do you mean?
didn't stop them from going to PC.
No, it's not
Hello.
that it's bad. I
Yeah,
think I know
it's not bad at all.
he got a text message. I think because I heard something
Oh, okay.
about it. It's not that it's bad. We're going to get a PS5 Pro. They already said, hey,
Yeah, of course.
the reason why we're going to get that is because Sony still has a store where they get 70% of the profits from third party and 100% of the profits for first party.
No,
And
30%. No, it's 30% for a third party.
oh yeah, 30%. My bad.
Yep.
Thanks for that.
No, no problem.
And they're going and that's what they want. And then their games sell the most on their own hardware.
Yeah,
See,
100% profit.
people were kind of intrigued with graphics when the PS3 hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were like, "Oh shit!" And then they had the notion of building your console essentially. That notion happened. I mean, building your PC essentially. So it was always a thing. You're going to get a PS5 Pro that's going to do 8K natively, have all of the
Definitely.
bells and whistles of ray tracing, not just ray tracing only, ray tracing shadows only, or ray tracing reflection only. The works, all of it, all together. That's what
No,
we're
you're
going to do.
correct. Yeah.
So it's going to happen, and people are still going to buy it. Sony had to introduce the idea, and then also Sony is introducing the idea for their games on PC. There's an argument for the PC master race. Some PC people don't want your games. It just sold 100,000. It just broke 1 million. Here's the problem with that. At one point, Sony was not known for quality games on their console. You remember that PS3,
PS1 and the PS2 era. Yeah.
well, because that wasn't them. Naughty Dog wasn't theirs.
Yeah,
You know
not
what I'm
till
saying?
2006. Yeah.
And then no, 2001,
2004.
or I think it was
Sorry,
2001 or two that they bought Naughty Dog. It was right after Jack and Dexter, or right around
Yeah,
Jack
yeah.
and Dexter when
Yeah.
they did it. And Jack and Dexter never did the fucking Crash Bandicoot numbers. That was their only successful studio at the time. Then they made Killzone. They did deals. That shit did horrible. And then they had to build up a reputation so people could trust them. And now you're getting games that selling 20 fucking million.
Yeah, but you
That's
also had
theirs.
Gran Turismo. Remember that, and then you had
That was
God
the
of
that
War.
was the that was the
2004,
only
yeah.
that was the only one. It's
Yeah.
God of War 1 and 2 sold 1 million and 2 million respectively. Really?
No, they sold more than that.
On the PS2?
Yeah, dude,
I
they
think. Let
put
me check
Devil
it. Let
May
me check
Cry to
it.
shame.
No. Let me check that shit. Let me check that shit.
Check it.
Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute.
That's
Let me
what
see here.
God of War was always more popular than Devil May Cry,
Well,
and
yeah.
Devil May
I mean,
Cry
I know
was
that
like,
because they had titties in there. It's a guy of War. Let's be honest. War wine sales. I haven't seen the fucking numbers in a long fucking time. Okay,
yeah,
so
it's been a while.
original God of War is 4.6 million.
Yeah,
Okay.
Devil May Cry would kill to get those numbers.
At the time. So yeah.
Yeah,
So I will say this. Um, I'm so glad that we had the time to kind of really get into this
hmm
and kind of have an intelligent discussion. I kind of want to do like a part two next week, but like and kind of explore what Sony is going to do with their future plans. That's probably what I'm going to name it, like the future plans of Sony, because I
yeah,
do think that's the case. I do
yeah,
think that Sony is going to all their. That's it explains why they're buying so many studios. They
yeah.
are anticipating putting their studios to work on all these fucking platforms
This is true. Well, not
to
on
get that
all these
money.
platforms because Sony can afford. Sony has okay. The thing about it is Microsoft is the one that by necessity wants to be on every single platform. At the end of the
No. I'm
day.
not talking. You know, when I say all platforms, I had to generalize it to make a point.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, it's going to be still on PC, cell phones,
Yeah,
and
it's
their own
PC,
consoles.
and tablets and cell phones and things like that. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I feel like that's what's going to end up happening. Cell phones, PC, and then their
Yeah.
own consoles. And respectively, they're going to have their own different types of catering to each platform.
Yeah.
But they're buying all these studios so that could happen.
hmm
Because they're going to,
And
if
also
they
to keep
decide,
themselves
if they,
safe.
it's safe from any kind of failure. So, for if they keep this current, what was it, 13 studios that they had before, and they were just
Yeah.
shackled to PlayStation consoles,
Yeah.
and then they decided to expand out to PC, then you're going to drain resources for the AAA games on the console and fuck up the whole ecosystem.
hmm
Them buying the other studios is going to allow for them to put specific games like Mario Go, Pokemon Go, and shit like that
Yeah,
without
you're talking about
Pokemon
studios
Go.
like Nixus and all those other studios.
Yeah,
correct. And
Nixus for sure. Nixus. Yeah, definitely
I
Nixus.
think Thrash hit the nail on the head on that one. That's what I think they're buying up all these studios, not for the PlayStation platform or porting PlayStation games over, but so they can make exclusive games in their art. They're looking for people that can align with them in terms of that type of quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what
Yeah,
I was saying
in their
before,
respective fields. Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
the
So what I
uh,
was
the the
saying,
PlayStation heads they were saying that the type of purchases that they tend to do is they as you I believe as you said before they look for people that are in line with Sony and they can essentially fuse themselves into the culture. And once, of course, as you know before, once they make a couple of games for them and those games are successful, they kind of bring them into the fold because they've essentially assimilated into the culture of what Sony is, and that, of course, that's what we call organic over
yeah.
here on the
So
interwebs. You know?
So that's what I believe is going to happen.
Yeah,
Microsoft is eventually going to kill off the Xbox brand.
yeah,
Remember, take your feelings out of it. This is not a fanboy type
of course.
speech. It's just what's happening. And then
Yeah.
Sony's going to end up putting their games cater to each platform.
hmm
But we're going to end it here. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to give you guys a shout out. Stage, how you want to be called?
Oh, stage.
All right.
Stage blocks is yeah for my. I'm eventually gonna make a YouTube, but right now I'm kind of like biding my time. But
Well,
yeah,
now's the time. Sage, Nelson, King Push, hey, fucking yo, Stone, um, what's his name? I can't. Rabba,
Karaba.
Dreams, Caraba. That
Yeah,
boy Connor, MHR, Upper Room, Stead, NBA, Dennis, Regular, uh, Robert. I don't know how the fuck to say that. Roberton, Killzone 2. I like that shit because I love Killzone. Michael, Lord, Leezy. Yo, y'all be easy. Hit that follow button. It is not fucking hard. Press the
that
damn
rhymed.
button.
That rhymed.
Bars, nigga, bars. We out of here.
Serious bars. Straight fire.
Oh, and Thrash. Peace out, guys.
Let's see.